Well, it's been a big week for the investigation into an estimated R2 billion looted from the VBS bank. Former CFO Philip Truter behind bars for an effective 7 years for admitting to his part. He's also turned state witness. Yesterday, more suspects appeared in court, and the state is promising more arrests. As yet, no politicians arrested. Let's discuss this week's developments with a journalist who's covered this extensively, Pauli van Wyk from the Scorpio investigative unit at the Daily Maverick. Good evening, Pauli. A big week for VBS. Tell us how pivotal Philip Truter is in all of this.
Good evening. Philip Truter was the Chief Financial Officer of VBS Mutual Bank. He was absolutely pivotal in more than one way. Not only did he assist in looting the bank, but he was also central to actually breaking the banking system, which makes his crimes actually worse. He didn't only steal the money, but he assisted in covering up the loot. He assisted in breaking the banking system, and he had an absolute duty in terms of his job, being the Chief Financial Officer of the institution, to be the sentinel of the institution. So he had a duty to ring the alarm whenever something went wrong. So he had the duty to say something is wrong, people are stealing the bank into insolvency, and someone needs to do something about it. So what makes him valuable for the National Prosecuting Authority now is in his plea bargain, he will provide them with an affidavit, and he will provide them with internal documents. Those documents include WhatsApps, emails, internal banking documents, bank statements, and he will be able to tell them about the dynamics inside the bank, who gave the orders, which orders did he give, and he in that way can give much insight into the working of the bank.
So he's absolutely pivotal, and as you say, he's got a lot of documentation. So this might be something of a slam dunk for the NPA. We have seen more arrests, and we also saw that the authorities say, well, they want a little bit more time because they have even more people to arrest. As yet, we haven't seen any political arrests. We know that people like Danny and Caesar, former treasurer of the ANC in Limpopo, could be someone who's arrested, possibly also former Mayor Florence Radzilani. Who do you think politically could likely be arrested in the coming weeks and months?
Well, we do know that reams of ANC-linked fixers and municipal managers and mayors and politicians were involved. So when we speak about political connections, we would definitely first look at the ANC-linked municipalities and what went wrong there. The two EFF leaders, Mr. Shivambu and Malema, will perhaps be in the third or fourth leg of investigation and will only be arrested way after. They are important because they are obviously the top echelons of their party, but in terms of the overall situation and the overall looting of the bank, the ANC mid-level and provincial leaders has played a larger role in the looting of the bank.
And just tell us a little bit more about your investigation into this. You have been absolutely slammed by the EFF. You've been accused of having a particular motive in highlighting the paper trail and the money that you followed in trying to get to the bottom of it. How difficult has it been to piece together what went on at the
Malema? Money towards their kids, towards their cars, towards their properties. So this was fairly easy to track. What was difficult was the political pressure they and their followers would put on me and on other journalists. But it was very clear that they would never talk about the merits of the case, that they would try and strawman any argument, speaking about the fact that I'm a white woman, speaking up about a black man, that we are trying to shine light on the truth and that they wouldn't necessarily want that to happen. And that their sympathies definitely did not lie with the VBS victims. There were very few times where they stood up and congratulated either the prosecuting authority for new arrests or ensured that that they gave their support for any proper investigations. So it's very clear that the merits of this case is something that the politicians, including the ANC politicians, would want to steer very clear from, and they would rather revert to personal insults.
Well, thank you very much for your views this evening and just giving us an insight into the work that you have done on this story. Pauli van Wyk of the Scorpio investigative unit at the Daily Maverick.